That really made that's a highlight.
Well, the one that is being done now, and I'd like to thank the president, the person in charge of the committee, for church committee, because apparently she's the person who recommended me
Yes.
to do the program.
Michelle.
But we sat down, Michelle, yes, Michelle Shepherd,
Yes.
a lady. We sat down and we thought we would do a project that looked at places in Christchurch. We would use a book that was put out about place names in Barbados. And we looked at Christchurch. And we said, let us educate Christchurch about itself.
Yes.
And look at some of the major highlights, things like the Heart Project and so on. And one of the young people did a whole lot of research on that, which deals then with not only Barbados history, but Barbados science and technology, and those sorts of things. We did a tour up there. And then we said, well, why don't we do a tour of Christchurch, get in a bus, and invited people. They paid, they were quite willing to think, and then we wrote a tour, which was narrated. So we sat down and we went right around the borders of Christchurch, chosen point, and we were doing a narration so that as you pass districts, you were able to talk about the districts and so on. And we felt that it was so important for young people to know that, well, first of all, there's a lot of history in Barbados, but secondly, that history could be turned into our tourism.
Exactly.
We have a tourism product that we've neglected.
Yes, we have.
And work that is being done by the young man on CBC TV who does all of those programs.
Sherwood.
What's his name again?
Sherwood.
Sherwood McCaskey.
Yes.
Sherwood is doing a tremendous job for us. And I think what we have to do is to expand that kind of work to include tourists, and not just for Barbadians to sit down and watch it, but we should be able to package that so that tourists can buy a package of photos or videos or whatever.
Why do you think that this has been neglected for so long? Why have you done that?
But let me say this, I think that perhaps in Barbados I have seen a resistance, perhaps in terms of understanding the need of industry, the need of innovation that is necessary to change this. We've been doing the same old, and we're not understanding that sometimes you have to take something that is innovative and different and push it to another level. And when you push it there, you will find out if there's a reception or a rejection. From what I'm saying, there'll be more likely to be a reception. The tourists come here and they want to see what Barbados has to offer. And sometimes they can't get out to all of Barbados, so you can carry Barbados into them. A good package that they can sit down and put it in their video and watch it and so on. So I think that is probably the thing. So we did that, and then we decided that we wanted to look at a number of people who have done very well, entrepreneurs in our community. We single out these entrepreneurs, and we would do a study of them. People like Branker, then he came up as a boy in Ulster. Branker's store, general store, was a very important store. There would have been Madam Eichel had her own facilities. There was a fisherman, a man who used to combine fishing with boat building. Then there was Sidney Jones, who was the father of Clyde Jones, the undertaker. He had a shop, and his wife had a shop in Ulster. So we wanted to look at people in Ulster who had distinguished themselves as entrepreneurs, to recall who they were, because a lot of them are forgotten in the midst of time. People forget who they are. So we did the research, and we wanted to carry that to the highest level. Another thing that we were quite, I think, is like, I don't know if you're aware that there's a graveyard near to the Sandals, the new Sandals and so on, down by that beach down there.
I've seen some remnants of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because the church was down there.
Yes.
And we walked away, I think it was 1699 or something like that. But there's still some graves and so on.
Yes, there are, yes.
Those graves are full of history. For instance, you have a man called John Adams and his wife Mary Adams. And they were the persons who were the forefathers of an Adams family that owned like Lowlands Plantation, Kingvale Plantation, etc., etc. Gone a long time ago, but they would have made their impression. So again, you link the past with the present.
So we're looking to make all this information accessible to the public then?
I think that's first of all, we're doing it through the community independence festival, etc.
Yes.
But I think writing is necessary. So I'm doing some writing now, and hopefully that will become available to the public.
You know, it's very important to really highlight the history and see how it really impacted and impacts us right now in the future and will impact in the present and in the future. Now, I was speaking to someone about oysters and the development of oysters, how it was. I mean, even if you've been around a little longer than I have been, and I've seen quite a few changes in oysters, and I'm sure you've seen even more changes.
Oh, I've seen changes, and also as a historian,
yes.
I had to study Ulster. Ulster up to 1825 was a very bustling city. You had all kinds of, first of all, slaves used to come in Ulster because Christchurch and St. Philip at one time was one parish. Then they were separated. But Christchurch always was a fairly active parish with large plantations around. You had Corvally, you had Rendezvous, you had several plantations, etc. So you had to be trading, you had to be bringing wood and so on, and lumber, which was a major thing in terms of house building and what have you. You had to be bringing slaves and so on. A district court was established in Ulster. So that was in 1825, but then the emphasis moved from Ulster to St. Michael. Yes. So in some ways, Ulster went into a little depression. But then Ulster picked back up, and from about the 1940s or so, we had the market, the fishing market was established. The old fishing market developed then further in the 70s and the 80s into the new one that we have now. The library was put there. The Ulster Library that is now part of a complex, as you know, there's the library there, and then of course is the
clinic and the police station.
Right, and so but and of course I always tell them that there was a big fort in Ulster. What later on became the old people's home.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a fort. And if you go and look at the back of the fort, if you look and you see all those guns, big cannons, etc. A few have been taken and put in front of the